Nate is also joining back, right? Okay, so everyone's here. So apologies for that. So I'll just continue from where we stopped. So basically, you can import your data from your Excel sheets to Canva to project, and Canva does the rest for you. So the only thing I might need to now come and adjust here is the other things. For instance, my data shows, I'm showing data from north, south, east, and west. Okay, so I think I imported the wrong sheet. So the original data has north, west, north, south, and east. So let's put north, south, and east. So you can now come and edit it here. North, south, east. So then you can put the total. So the total from north is going to give you here. So you can now select this 250,000. Then you can put it here. So I just copied it. But I want to put 250K instead of all of that. To Naira sign. So now the total from south is 210,000. Then this one is 195. So 210 and 195. And 195. Okay. So basically, you've already conveyed your information now. So it just shows that North has the highest. So you can further adjust. For instance, if you notice, North has the highest figure, so it has to reflect here as well. So, but this is not the North color code, so it just switch it up. So I'm gonna do that. So this is actually supposed to be the color code. So I'm just going to copy this one here. I'll copy the color code so that I can have it, and I'll switch it, and then I'll come here and switch this one accordingly. Okay, so it's now showing. What did I do? This is meant to be the highest figure, so it's meant to carry this major color. Sorry. This one is meant to reflect here. Oh, just gonna do that manually. I'm using my color picker, so I think I keep selecting the wrong. This is what I'm selecting. I can just go to positions and check the layers for the box you're looking for. It's not even on a different layer. This is not the color. This is it. So this is it. Let's try this one. No. So it's this one. So just going to change this one to finally. So what you need to do is just make further adjustments. So for instance, if this is not the color code for your company, or if you're not using the color code for your company, which is okay, you can just select a color code. But remember, pay attention to certain colors. So you cannot be using colors like red and yellow because that one communicates, it's giving more restaurant vibe, restaurant design vibe. So a color like green, teal, these colors will be able to communicate what you're trying to pass effectively. So if you need to make some adjustments, so for instance, this is a Q1 2025 monthly sales data, and you want to communicate it on the graph, then you can now go further and adjust it. Sorry, this tab is disturbing. This is really disturbing me. This bar. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so I want to change this to, let's say, Q1. What? Overview. And you can now make further adjustments to your design. Like for instance, this can drag it, you can adjust the line. So I'm just going to shift this and then shift the other part as well. Okay. It's too short. So I'll adjust it further. So you can choose to center it. Okay. So you can customize it for the, so if you want products here, and just call it products A, B, C. Because according to our data, that's what we're working with, right? So the next thing is, so from this design, it's clear that you are going to be presenting this to management level, because what management wants to see is numbers. So they are not interested in whatever it is you have to write. So simply presenting this, you know that, oh, this is for the management level. So in a case where it's for the public or it's for your colleague, you can now go further to indicate certain text underneath this design. Okay. And if it's for a presentation, obviously you know what you're presenting, so you're gonna have to explain it. So there's really, it's not really not like complex. If it was before when you couldn't import data to Canva, then you can now start manually doing certain things by yourself. But since you already have the option to import data, you can go ahead and import your data. And that's simply basically it. So if you have any questions regarding this, you can now go ahead and ask. Or design in general, it doesn't have to be about this. Or if you want me to put you through something that you might have difficulty in doing on Canva, then you can go ahead and let me know. So always remember to also rename your design. Nat, you want to say something? Is it Nat or Nate? Nate, do you want to say something? Your mic is unmuted. Okay, so let me just talk about this design. All right, so if you remember, I made mention of certain design principles while I was talking initially. I made mention of hierarchy. Okay, so remember I said hierarchy just means making the most important info to stand out. So from this design, you can see that first of all, when you look at it, first thing you see is Q1 sales report overview. All right, because obviously it's the heading, it has a bigger font, it has a bolder font. So that's the first thing you are going to see when you open this report. What's the next thing that is bold? What you can see next is your bar. Is this a bar? Sorry, I'm not a data person. So you can see that this is reflecting some certain kind of information, right? And then what are you going to see next? What the interpretation of this information. So from here you can tell that, oh, North has the larger share, and then South has the second larger share, and then East has the lowest share. Okay, so I have been able to effectively communicate that these are the major information that I want you to see. So the next thing that is also going to grab your attention is the height of this chart. Okay, so you know that this is like the total for each of the states. So for instance, so from here it's even indicating as south. Okay, this is not from the color code here. So you can do the adjustments here, so you can switch it up. So that's why you have to customize it further. So it's showing that obviously North has the higher share, which was indicated here. North has the highest, and then West. Okay, we didn't do for West. So for South, South follows second. So this is supposed to be, South is now supposed to be yellow. So when you are customizing, you can now edit your colors from here. So what this just means that I've been able to communicate that this is the major information that I'm trying to pass. So when you're now doing your presentation, you can now further explain, oh, that the North generated 80,000 naira in the month of this, 70,000 naira here, and all of that. So you can now further explain during the presentation. But the goal of having this is just to be able to simplify the data. Then I also made mention of balance and spacing. So you can see that there's adequate space between each of these. And that is why templates are actually easier, because then the template has already helped you do some of these things. So there are things that you don't even need to think too hard about or pay much attention to. If you were designing from scratch, then it's now your job or your duty to adjust elements in your design based on how you want it to look. So since it's already a template, you can already see that there was sufficient white space between the first element and the second element. Okay, you can see that. So when it comes to white space, it will also help you identify what items are grouped together. So for instance, the white space between here and here is minimal. It's just about the size of this chart itself. So you now know that all these are grouped together. But from here to here has a larger white space. Then you also have a white space here, maybe for minimal information, or if you want to just leave it like this. So the essence of having all of these white spaces in your design is just so your design is breathable, just so you can people can actually see what is in your design without having to have a headache. So it's not, your design is not rowdy. So that is why it's important for you to always pay attention to white spaces in your design. So I can now decide that, oh, in your mind, this is not big enough. You want to increase the size. So if you go ahead and increase the size, you can see that there's not really a balance on the design. It's going to be too much, okay? And that's why you need to pay attention to the white space. All right, then I also made mention of color psychology, choosing colors that match the colors that match the mood. Okay, so I made mention of certain colors that you can use for something that is for a professional cause, like this one. You can make use of colors like blue, colors like teal. You can see that teal is here, colors like green, so yellow if it's going to be a mix of the colors. And you can make use of purple, you can make use of black, navy blue, deep colors, colors that actually reflect professionalism. But you cannot come here and decide to splash pink, red, yellow, all of that in a report because it's not communicating the information that or the emotion that it needs to communicate in that case. And then I made mention of typography. Okay, using 2 to 3 fonts maximum. So for instance, if you check this font here, Playfair Display, same as this, and this as well. Okay, they are all the same font. And then when you now come to the body, you can see that the body of the font we're using Poppins. Okay, everything here is Poppins. Here as well is also Poppins. Okay, so we can see that on this design we have just 2 different fonts, one for the heading and one for the body of the design. So make sure that you're only making use of two to three fonts. I would always advise you use just 2 fonts, but in a case where there are certain things that you just need to like differentiate with a different font, you can now make use of maximum of 3 fonts, okay? But 2 is also good for a design. And then the last thing is your design should be consistent, should be consistency in your design. Now, if you check, this particular area here might seem like it is not important, okay? But by the time we delete it, you can see that this guy is just on its own. Like it feels like it's just there, like it's just hanging, okay? But when we now bring it back, sorry about that. So when we decide to now bring that element back, better come back. Oh. Sorry. Divine, please can you mute your mic? So when the element is back here, you can see that there's some form of consistency. Like it just makes this not to be on its own. So that's what consistency in design means. So for instance, these colors here. So if I decide to say, oh, I want to make this, let's say I want to make this another color. Okay, this reflecting on each of the colors. So what I'm trying to say is that if we decide to single out, you see the way these colors are yellow, green, light green, and teal. If I decide to make this next part to be blue, yellow, green, and teal, then this one will now be like another color mix. You see that there's no consistency in the design, so it doesn't look right. But the consistency here is each of these bars are the same color, like colors. Okay, so that's another thing that you need to pay attention to in your design, the consistency of your colors and the elements in your design, basically. All right, so these are just the design principles that you need to. So if you want to also maybe try and do yours, sorry, give me a moment. I'm so sorry about that. I got an impromptu call. So, where did I stop? So basically, I'm done explaining what I need to explain. So at this point, I'm just because I asked before, and you guys are not like completely new to Canva. So I've explained the things that I feel are necessary for you to know that you might have not known. So if there's anything that you do not know, or you want me to give some clarification on rather, just let me know. Just ask me, and then I'll put you through because I believe there's a reason for this class. So go ahead and just ask. Divine, Bintu, Nate, do any of you have question or an input, a suggestion, concern, whatever? Floor is open. No questions. Oh, okay. There's a message on the chat box. Okay, Nate, you don't have any. That's fine. Divine, do you have any? Bintu, do you have
Please,
any?
maybe in future, if we have any further questions, maybe can we feel free to ask you?
Okay, sure, you can. I think Mr. Jaffet.
Because sometimes some questions don't like just pop up now, maybe till you're doing the design.
Okay. All right, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'll inform Mr. Jaffet. Yes, you guys can have my
Okay.
personal details. I think there's a group, right? That you guys are.
Yes, there's a group. Yes, there's a group. Yes.
Okay, I'll tell Mr. Jaffet to add me to the group so you can
Add
check
you. Yes.
your
Yes,
questions
please.
there.
Yes. All right. All right. All
All
right.
right. Thank you guys so much. I
Thank
will.
you so much.
You're welcome. I'll send the recording of this class to Jaffet so you can send it to you guys.
All right. Thank you so much.
All right. You're welcome.
Okay.
Have
Okay.
a great day.
All right. You too. Bye.
Bye.